One of the most often overlooked baits is the inline spinner. Let me show you a quick tip that I use to make mine a little bit more fishable and a little bit more versatile. Hey guys, it's John again from Fishyaker.com. We probably all grew up using an inline spinner. The one I have here is a MEPS. This is one of the best lures you can buy for just about anything. We all probably grew up using them, and over the years we kind of evolved and developed our fishing skills, and a lot of us don't use these anymore. But why did we use them? Because they worked and because they were really simple. You cast them out, you reel them in, idiot-proof, easy to use. What were one of the big problems with them? There are treble hooks on these puppies, right? What's one of the big issues you get with these? Well, you get those fish, they'll throat hook them, and it's a pain in the tail getting these treble hooks out of them. Or it can simply be landing the fish and get this hook wedged up in your leg, or when you're trying to lip them, or you name it. Treble hooks can be a pain in the butt, especially on these smaller inline spinners. But you can get these things in sizes going from, small panfish and trout size lures all the way up to musky lures, and they really work. Well, I was at my local store earlier. Okay, I'll be honest, I was at Walmart, and they had that kind of early spring, get you thinking about fishing display on, where they had all sorts of really cheap foreign imported stuff, and they had this, a Granite River Outdoors 3-pack inline spinner. And it made me think, what's one of the things I do because of that treble hook issue on my inline spinners is change that hook off of them. Now, one of the things to keep in mind, I like having the bucktail tied trebles on them a lot. I really do, especially for smallmouth fishing. This one here is deadly on smallmouth. Ironically, the largest smallmouth bass I've caught my entire life was on a lure exactly like this, just throwing it around structures, some submerged, trees and stuff around a shoreline of the Susquehanna River, and I'm telling you, I caught a beast on one of these. Blew my mind. I'll be honest, one of the largest catfish I ever caught was also on an inline spinner, so they work. But for instance, the MEPS, a lot of them, the bucktail is actually tied into the hook. But a lot of manufacturers, for instance, the ones that I got here from Walmart, the bucktail, the hair is actually tied in above a split ring. So, what did I do with these? Like I've done on some before, I take the lure out of the packaging, and since it had a split ring that attached the hook to it, I simply removed that treble hook. Because again, the bucktail in this is not tied to the treble hook. In a lot of cases, the bucktail may not be necessary with what I'm doing here. I took that treble hook off and I put a standard, single barb hook on it, like you see in the one here. This really is going to be cool. This really actually does work. This makes this a multi-purpose lure across the board. We know you can still just cast it out, reel it back in like normal, and this thing will catch a lot of fish on it. Again, 3 for $1.50. You really can't beat it. If I snag them, lose them, they break or whatever, don't work, I'm not going to feel really upset about it, right? But if you get some that are a little bit more, better manufactured or higher quality, you can do the same thing if they have the split ring on it. A lot of them, the treble hook will actually be tied, twisted in with the wire, so you might have a hard time getting it off. But if there's a split ring like this, I was impressed. For $1.50, they had split rings on it. I was able to take those treble hooks off and replace them with a single hook. Okay, that really does make this a much more multi-purpose lure. So now I can cast it out, reel it in without doing anything to it. And what I've done here, this will make a really deadly smallmouth package here, for instance. I've taken the same lure, I put a standard hook on it, a single barb hook, instead of again, I got rid of that treble hook, and I simply put a grub, a crowtail grub, like one of the last videos we just put up about how multi-purpose this is, how functional this grub can be, this curly tail. This way I can throw this out, I can burn it, around structure, around tree cover, you name it, all over the place. It gives it a little bit bigger profile, it's going to weight it down a little bit, and I can do a lot more with it, and it's just going to be deadly. And I can take that same grub, I can run it on this hook and make it weedless. I can put other types of soft plastics on it. Heck, I can put a crawl on it, you name it. But now, because I don't have a little tiny treble hook on it, I've got a standard hook. I can put a worm hook. I can change whatever type of hook I want on here instead of that treble hook, and I can make a whole lot better pattern out of this and do a whole lot of different things with it than your standard inline spinner. Again, this works really well. This can be deadly on just about any type of fish you want, depending on the size, but this kind of scales that up a little bit, and it may better match the hatch, and it's going to give them a little bit different presentation they're not used to seeing, and this will work. Again, it's like simply burning a spinner around them normally, but now it's a different profile. It may actually work a whole lot better than, say, a safety pin spinner or one without a trailer on it. So if you pick up any, again, depends on what brand it is. If you pick up some inline spinners, look for ones that have a split ring on it, and a little split ring on the bottom of it that you can take the hook on and off with it. And go ahead, take that treble hook off of it, especially if it doesn't have any bucktail tied to it, because it'll be a whole lot safer when you're landing fish. It'll be a whole lot safer on the fish when you have to unhook them, and it gives you a lot more options for actually putting trailers on your inline spinner. You can make a bigger lure out of it. So next time you buy an inline spinner, take a look at how the hook's attached to it. It may come in really handy for you. As always, please subscribe to the Fishyaker YouTube channel, like us on Facebook. We hope this helps you out, and we'll catch you on the water.
Fishyaker.com, the original kayak rigging video series.